Well, my name is Chief FEMI Kayode. I'm the Sadauki Shinkafi. Very proud of that. I am former Minister of Aviation, former Minister of Culture and Tourism, former spokesman to President Obasanjo, and I'm also the Wakili Ndoka of Portiscom. Very proud of that, I must say that. I'm also the Otumba of Jagorile, down in Ogun State. I'm also the Are of the Ajagulas, that's warriors, of Otoikiti. And I'm a legal practitioner, and now I'm the ambassador designate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to the Federal Republic of Germany. It's a great country, great people, the largest economy in Europe, our second largest trading partner, I believe. I've been going to Germany for many, many years. And of course, you know, I lived in Europe. I lived in the UK all my life, literally. Never went to school in Nigeria. So I know Europe very, very well. It's an honor and a privilege to have the opportunity to represent our country in a great country like that. Of course, ours is to ensure that trade, understanding, mutual respect, cooperation booms and is increased. That's the focus of the job. And of course, the job is also to protect the interests of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in Europe, in Germany, in the world, as an ambassador. It's a great honor for me, it's a great privilege for me. And I thank God, I thank the President, and I thank all those that were involved in ensuring that not only was I made an ambassador, but I was given such a great designation. I'd always come to Kaduna to play polo and things like that from childhood, many years ago. It was a wonderful place at that time. But I must say that around 2015, things started happening here that we had never heard about before. I found myself coming to Kaduna, southern Kaduna, in 2016, regularly addressing churches, addressing crowds of youths, addressing community leaders and elders of that community, and writing extensively about the troubles that the people of that particular part of the state were going through at the time. And it was hideous. You needed to see it to believe it. They were completely marginalized. They were not getting state government allocations. They were purposely being denied and deprived of security. And of course, at that time, the terrorists were in full-fledged and they were killing them like flies. And you had a situation whereby the state government at the time were withdrawing troops, withdrawing policemen from those communities, and therefore people were being slaughtered. And what really struck me the most and literally caused me to see it as something of a crusade as far as I was concerned was when on Christmas 2016, I believe it was Christmas Day, but it was around Christmas, they considered it to be a Christmas Day present, if you like, when no less than 800 plus innocent and defenseless Christians were slaughtered in one day. And that's when I realized that we're dealing with what was essentially mass murder, ethnic cleansing, religious cleansing, and genocide. And that's when I really, decided to make it something that I would get involved in. So I kept coming in to encourage the community. I spoke very, very extensively against the state government of that day, particularly the governor of the day, Nasir El-RUFAI, who I have known for many, many years, and we served in President Obasanjo's cabinet together. We're actually very, very close. But what I witnessed then was something that I could not believe. A situation whereby Malam Nasir El-RUFAI, it was very clear that he had a disgust for a Christian community. He had a disgust for members of the Shia community, because many were killed under his watch. He had a disgust for members of the Tijaniya Sunni Muslim community, that's the late Sheikh Dairu Bauchi's followers. And he had a disgust for orphans and orphanages, knocking them down, taking people's land. All kinds of unpleasant things were going on throughout that period. To say that he was bestial, some said he was vindictive. I don't choose to use that word, as I argued in the essay. I think he was bestial in his approach. A man that will say until the day he leaves office, the last man, he'll keep knocking down people's homes. He knocked out an orphanage at 1 a.m. in the morning. That was his last official act. An orphanage in Zaria where there were children living. So he literally continued that. Under him, Shia Muslims were slaughtered. As governor and chief security officer of the state, Shia Muslims were slaughtered. On one particular day, 1,000 of them were slaughtered in Zaria. And then they went to the home of El-Zakzaki. They killed more, went to the graves there, desecrated, blinded El-Zakzaki in one eye, and shot his wife in the stomach. And, then they were detained for 4 years. As governor of the state, yes, it was the military that did that. But what did he do to protect his own Kaduna citizens? He did nothing. Instead, he relished it because he has a pathological hatred for Shia Muslims, who he persecuted when he was here, when he was in power. Secondly, he was persecuting and torturing, maiming, locking up Sunni Muslim clerics and things. There was 100 that he arrested in 1 day simply because they protested about something that happened, and he locked them up. These are followers of the late Sheikh Dairu Bauchi. Many died under his watch. The Christian community, like I said, the way he would do it, and he rightly said, he confessed before the whole world that they, whoever they may be, were the ones that were paying terrorists who came from outside. They paid them to stop what they were doing and to compensate them. And the implication of that is that they, whoever they may be, were the ones that brought them in. And they now had to settle them. So this is what he was doing. So those terrorists that refused to go, or those who continued killing his own people here. And what did he do? He ensured the military and the police were not deployed to certain places he didn't like. He is somebody that has a pathological hatred for Christians. You doubt that? Find out the sort of things he was saying to Banex, his deputy governor, when they were in cabinet. How it would humiliate him, ridicule him, speak down to him, and insult people that belong to that faith. This is something that we have never seen. And I'll tell you something that I've never said before publicly. Is the fact that Nasu was considered the leader of our group when we were with Obasanjo. We had a young team of people who were very close to Obasanjo. We wanted him to take over from Obasanjo. And but Obasanjo said something. When we sat the president, I said, this is the man you should hand power to, not Yar'Adua. Obasanjo said, you don't know him the way I know him, so I will not do it. There were about 10 of us. We were Obasanjo's boys. Everything Baba did, he would brief us and unleash us and give us, we were his boys. Okay? And he sat us down and said, you don't know him the way I know him. So the answer is no, go and work for Yar'Adua. Okay? Baba was proved right. We didn't know him. I didn't know him. I loved him as a brother. I really did. I admired him. He's bright, he's intelligent, but he had a dark side which manifested when he became governor of the state. He claims that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, together with the Vice President Kashim Shettima, together with Malam Nuhu Ribadu, the NSA, and a number of other people, colluded with Ubasani, to ensure that he was blocked and rejected by the Nigerian Senate. Well, let me tell you this. If President Tinubu did not want him to be minister, he would never have been nominated in the first place. President Tinubu appealed to him because he did a lot of work during the campaign. I was in the campaign organizing. We worked together. A lot of work. He was one of those that ensured the power went down to the south. There's no doubt about that, and that Tinubu was supported. I was at the convention. I was in the campaign organization. I know the work he did. But let me tell you why he did it. Not because he loved Tinubu, but because he wanted to be the vice president of the country. And he lobbied and begged for that, and he never got it. So that was blow number one when he didn't get it. Then he believed he would not just be minister, but he would be super minister. You know what a super minister is? A minister that will tell the president exactly what he wants to do, how he will do it on his own terms. And he was already establishing members of his team even before he was confirmed as a minister, which was irritating enough. But nevertheless, the president allowed him, was gracious enough. And he went to the Senate. Now, the reason the Senate, as I argued, as I said in my essay, the reason the Senate rejected it was based on no less than about 6,000 to 7,000 petitions that were gathered from the Shia Muslim community about his acts of violence, his hatred and persecution against them, the Christians, the Sunni Muslims, that is the Sheikh Dairu Bauchi faction, and other Sunni Muslims, and generally the people. Then cases of where people disappeared, allegedly, I wasn't there, I don't know, but allegedly on his orders, I believe he's being investigated for that now. Like Daddy Yatta and so many others. And these killings, these abductions, just continued under his watch. He tried to arrest the publisher of Point Blank News. He's American-based now, but he's back in Nigeria. Jackson Ude, he's still alive. They raided his home in Abuja. They couldn't find him. Because of that, they came back to Kaduna and arrested one of his closest friends and locked him up for about 4 to 5 months here. And this is legion. I mean, there are so many journalists. Anybody that criticized him, his government, was locked up. That does not happen today. It doesn't happen in Kaduna State today. I'm not aware it even happens in Nigeria today. And it's something that I will never forget, because you must never forget such things so that you never allow them to happen again. I came here regularly. I did all I could for the people, encouraged them, inspired them, and assured them that one day change would come and that things would be very, very different. I also wrote about it, and it's all documented. I wrote essays and so on about what was going on. He has been in detention now, I think, for about 2 weeks or so, and everybody said he has a nosebleed, he should be released, he should be that. I want him to be released too, but as long as the security agencies are operating within the law, why should he complain? I was locked up in Boko Haram cells. I'm sure you didn't know that. In Kuje prison, I was locked up with Boko Haram terrorists and Boko Haram convicts. Some of them were preparing to be, to be hanged, and so on and so forth. I never complained to anybody. So you see, in this game, when your heart is pure, your hands are clean, you just face your trials and tribulations and know it's a test from God. And you do it with humility and decency and dignity. When you know you have an impure heart and your hands are filled with blood, and you're a wicked man that likes to destroy people's lives, knock people's homes down, torture even orphans, torture widows, torture everybody that matters, and you are vindictive and vicious with power, and then you now get locked up, they are the ones that always whine the most. And I do not enjoy what he's going through now, but one thing I would advise him and his people and those around him, have a little bit of dignity and self-respect. Others have been through this for many, many years, and it's not just me, many others. We went through it like men. We took it like men. And if your hands are clean, God will vindicate you. If your hands are not clean, or if you have an evil intention for your former colleagues and your former friends, definitely you're going to go down. This is a man that said he bugged the telephone of the NSA. If this had been America, if it had been anywhere else, the UK, he would not have made it out of that studio. He would have been arrested immediately, and you will hear nothing about him for a very long time. They'll lock him up, probably under anti-terrorism laws or whatever it is, and they will interrogate him until he tells us, or tells the state, who is bugging the phone of the National Security Advisor. And this is the head of the whole security apparatus in the country. And you claim you have people that have bugged his phone in a country where we have no less than 5 terrorist organizations trying to destroy the state and killing our people like flies, and our armed forces and security are fighting back. And you say you have links with people that have that kind of capability. You openly tell Nigerians that. You did that. And surely, when a man can talk like that, there's a lot more to him than meets the eye. Finally, you wrote a letter to the NSA, which you leaked to the public, alleging the NSA had brought in massive loads of extremely dangerous poison, which is used and has been used, is banned in most countries now in the West, to kill people. It is odorless, it is colorless, and usually terrorist organizations and security agencies that have gone rogue or use it to kill people. It's been done many times. You now claim that the NSA has brought these things into the country, and you leaked the letter that you wrote to him. The issue is this, and there's I know that the NSA never did that. I've known him for many years. Like I said, we're very close. He doesn't operate like that. He's a man of the law. But the implication that Nasser was trying to give was that he wanted to use that to kill members of the opposition. Let me put this to you, and I'm not making any allegations here. I'm simply asking a question. Is it not possible that he did that because somebody, maybe those hacking friends he has, those terrorist friends he had that can hack the NSA, is it not possible that they're the ones that actually brought this in, that he's fully aware of it, and that they have an intention to now unleash such toxins and such chemical weapons, because that's what they are, on the Nigerian people, whether opposition or government figures or just ordinary people, and then turn around and say, I told you this would happen, the NSA brought this stuff in. It's what you call a false flag operation, and it happens, it's been happening for years, and it's happened. So I sincerely hope and pray that the DSS, the Defense Intelligence Agency, the NIA, all of them are on top of this, and they'll look into this. He has a lot of questions to answer. Like I said, if there is no darkness in him, if his hands are not filled with blood, if he has no intention of destabilizing or destroying Nigeria, he has nothing to worry about. But I'll tell you this, anybody that tries to divide, destroy our country, or supports those that kills our people, whether Christian or Muslim, because many Muslims are being killed as well. It's not just Christians, all over the country. Muslims are being killed as well. Those behind those terrorists, and if he's one of them, I'm not saying he is, but if he is, or anybody that is involved in that, will surely go down. They will meet a terrible end by God's grace. Well, I don't see the ADC as a political party. I see them as an association of people that are desperate for power, individuals that are discredited, individuals that have no hope in hell of taking this country forward. Particularly, I look at someone like Peter Obi. God forbid he should be president of this country, and I won't go into why I'll say that, but God forbid. I have respect for the former Vice President, Alhaji Abubakar Atiku. He was our Vice President. But I also believe that it's time for him to simply say, okay, look, let others continue the work. The president has done a good job. 3 reforms he's put in place. I believe it's important that he's allowed to do a second term. But ADC as a party is part of the problem, and I'll tell you why. Okay, the opposition has collapsed in Nigeria. The opposition has collapsed. There is no opposition because they don't even know how to be an opposition. When we were in power, when we were in PDP, APC at the time when it was formed, we had a strong opposition, and in the end they defeated us in 2015. Can you compare the APC that was in opposition then to the jokers that we have today? They call themselves opposition. There's no way you can. So when you're talking, people complain about the fact that everybody is joining the APC. It's not the president's fault, it's not our fault, it's the fault of the opposition, because all they do is sit in a bedroom quibbling, fighting one another, and instead of doing the job they're meant to do, which is to keep the government on its toes. They can't keep the government on its toes because they themselves are not even standing. They're snoring in bed, bickering, quibbling, and fighting one another.